Good evening, friends. Welcome. Tonight, I wanted to do a life book flip through. This one's called Life Goes to the Movies. And this too was my father's. Both he and I had an obsession and a fascination with the golden years of Hollywood. So as you can see, this specific life book is dedicated to all those years that helped make the motion pictures what they are today. So over here we have Katharine Hepburn. We have Sophia Loren, most beautiful woman. Goodness, she was just stunning. Elizabeth Taylor, John Wayne, Rock Hudson. We have just some incredible Judy Garland over here. Clark Gable. I always found him to be so handsome. And of course, the wonderfully talented Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. So it's a beautiful book, and I'd like to share it with you guys. So before we start, I do want to light an incense. Perhaps not the wisest thing to do around a book, but I have copies, so I'm not too worried. The incense I'm lighting today is this just pretty standard little Good Fortune incense from the HEM brand, but it smells very nice. And I'd like to think it'll give me a little extra luck in the upcoming weeks to pass. But if not, I'm just glad to be here with you guys. So let's get started. That smoke smells incredible. So the heroines, the hundreds of female stars were discovered, covered, and uncovered during life's lifetime. Some of them were quite special, and a treasured few were one of a kind. So, I don't know if you can tell, but there's quite a few small little words over here. So, I'll reach over here. Grab my handy dandy little magnifying glass. Says, in a 3-part series of articles on Scarborough in 1955, Life described her real romance with John Gilbert and the superheated lovemaking it had inspired in the silent film Flesh and the Devil, made in 1927. Beautiful. That's absolutely incredible. I love Greta Garbo. She was absolutely stunning. And, in my opinion, quite the actress. These are just a few more pictures of Garbo. And here, says Scarborough, already a star at home, was heading back to Sweden when Stiller showed MGM executives this and other photographs made by Arnold Gunt that captured the marvelous plasticity of her features. So, Jeet, I doubt I said that name right, but I hope you guys are a little bit forgiving. In Ninochka, 1939, when Scarborough laughed in her first comedy, the ads plugged it as the biggest news since she first spoke in Anna Christie, 1930. Ooh, Marlene Dietrich. Beautiful. Look at those legs. My goodness. You could tell Miss Dietrich loved her legs. And who could blame her? What a knockout. Just beautiful. Ferns in her hair and water dripping over the famed planes of her face. Marlene Dietrich managed to look sizzling even after a plunge into a forest pool. The scene is a still from 1937's Night Without Armor. Sorry, I keep bumping into you guys, but look at how beautiful she is. Even dripping wet, with a full face of makeup. I guess makeup was just made different back then. Oh, in 1957, Marlene's mystique still held up superbly. Officially 53, she starred in Billy Wilder's adaptation of Agatha Christie's Witness for the Prosecution. You can hear those fun cars. Doesn't matter how rainy the night is. Still keep on driving around. Oh my gosh, this is my absolute favorite. And like my dad just stashed the most random things throughout all these books. King Pelican, California vegetables, grown and packed by F.S. and F.E. King, Sacramento, California. We had family that lived out there when I was a kid. I am from a small town in California called Santa Cruz, though I was born in Santa Monica, California. I moved up there when I was a girl, and I have more California memorabilia than I care to admit, but it really brings back memories, seeing things like that and just finding little gems hidden by him in here. So I'll go ahead and put this up. But that's so fun. Kingfish and king pelican. There can only be one, can't there? Okay. Set those there for later. Okay. So this is my love, Miss Betty Davis. She was so talented. And yes, she did have the biggest eyes in the world. She was stunning, but she was also so talented. And if you haven't seen any of her movies, no matter how young you are, I need you to, after this, watch something of hers. I recommend Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, but I mean, she had countless of hits that were just incredible. Studios decided that the big-eyed New Englander was unsexy, but in 4 decades of roles that accented assorted disasters, she outgrossed many a sex bomb. And that's the truth. What Betty did for us was prove that women didn't have to be traditionally sexy to have value, although she was, in my opinion, quite a looker. She had talent, and I think it was underestimated that all people wanted to see from women was sex. So, in 1941, life went to Betty's 33rd birthday party at her usually very private house in New Hampshire. Just back from the ski slope, she had turned off the electricity that charged her public personality. Oh, look at how young she looks. So fun. I'll go ahead and move this over. Hope the smoke's not bothering you. There you go. Hopefully that's better. Okay. Oh, isn't that funny? Betty's 1939 cover portrait almost destroyed her determinedly non-glamorous image. How funny is that that's glamorous for her back then? I mean, honestly, she's not caked in foundation. Which would be fine if she was, because I understand. But she's wearing relatively little makeup. I mean, sure, she has a full lip and some eyeliner and some mascara, maybe a little bit of penciling in on the brows. But I would say that her foundation is medium coverage, maybe not quite a ton. And she's still showing a little wrinkling in the forehead, little bit of line work under the eyes. Right now we would call that somebody not wearing makeup, or wearing very little makeup at least, being minimally glamorous. So it's just funny to see that back then this almost destroyed her non-glamorous image. Oh, Katharine Hepburn. There's a favorite for a lot of people out there. You'll hear a lot about her and Spencer Tracy, which unfortunately I think did distract, I guess, from some of her talent. But I mean, there's no taking away anything from Katharine Hepburn. She was so talented, so funny. I think it was her who famously said that being an actress was one of the easiest jobs in the world. And she would downplay the importance of her job quite a bit. So. Look. I love this picture of her. Let me get my eyeglass once again. Gotta see what this says. Woman of the Year 1942 was the first of 9 films Hepburn and Spencer Tracy did together. Yeah. Through the years, life often took note of their close friendship, but never reported their touching love story. Which it was quite a touching love story. She took care of him in his later years. He struggled with alcoholism and whether or not they were more than friends. That's a love story, even if they were just two people who loved each other very much. Oh, Shirley Temple. First real child star. Look at her, she's so cute. Those little dimples, little cheekies. So cute. America's dimpled sweetheart stole movies from just about everybody during a mini career that put her among the top 10 box office stars from 1934 through 1939. Ah, so sweet, so adorable. There's her with her daughter, Lori, on a 1958 Life cover. Oh, Heidi, my mom loved that movie. Ingrid Bergman, oh my gosh, beautiful, stunning. The fresh-faced Swede, touted as a young Garbo. She developed a personal style and a commanding presence that withstood the periodic eclipse of her U.S. career. Audrey Hepburn, just incredible. Robbed as the nurse heroine of The Nun Story, 1959, Audrey ignores kibitzing crowned cranes and reads while on the location in Africa. Director Billy Wilder told Life the bright Dutch-born ex-ballerina gives the distinct impression she can spell schizophrenia. What an odd thing to say. And Judy Garland, what a legend. A trooper who had never known real childhood sang away her adolescence and her youth as well, en route to an extraordinary niche in the entertainment world. Very talented. At age 17, Judy got the plum role as the little farm girl in The Wizard of Oz because Shirley Temple was unavailable. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Garland was born in 1922. 2 years later, made her stage debut at the theater in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, run by her ex-vaudevillian parents. Told in 1959 that she would never work again, a determinedly convalescent Judy prepared for another of many comebacks, a 1961 concert tour that drew an adoring crowd. Of this portrait, Life said, Judy reflects the courage she gained from her triumph over the past. She was 47 when she died in 1969. So young. Stunning. She looks a lot like Liza there. Or I suppose Liza looks a lot like her there. Elizabeth Taylor, many people's favorite. I think she is stunning, but I do not enjoy what she did to her dear friend, Debbie Reynolds. Not her best move. But we don't judge. I'm judging a little. That was mean. But she is absolutely stunning. I love this picture of her. It's just so fun. Such a real moment. I really loved it when they were able to catch these real, unplanned, just beautifully real moments back in the day of these just larger than life glamorous figures. It's probably no small feat to get a privilege like this picture of such goofiness. Just stunning, stunning in every way. And I love her freckles. Okay. So, rich girl turned model, turned movie queen, turned real royalty, picture book pretty Grace Kelly with Prince Rainier of Monaco in 1956 and retired. Girl, I would too. Greatly admired for her fine comedic touch, Carole Lombard married Clark Gable in 1939, but tragically lost her life in a 1949 plane crash. Stunning. Just stunning. Gloria Swanson posed before Sunset Boulevard was released in 1950. And oh my goodness. Doris Day. Oh, I adore Doris Day. She was so funny and so cute, so innocent, and just fun, delightful to watch. So, fresh-faced, virginal, and uncomplicated, they all seem to be not inaccessible movie goddesses, but outdoorsy and uneccentric versions of anybody's popular kid sister. I would not call these characters uneccentric. In fact, I would call them kind of kooky, especially Doris Day. There's Ginger Rogers, was on the cover 4 times, including this 1942 shot taken while fishing on her Oregon ranch. Oh, how lovely. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness. She's just beautiful enough, Life wrote, not to be an affront to other women. She believes in God and love and a hard day's work. She's just beautiful enough. I don't know how I would feel about being described like that. But, stunning. Oh, Donna Reed. Oh, I love the Donna Reed show. I would say I was born in the wrong time period, but as you can see, the color of my skin, I think I was born in just the right time. As the traditional big studios went into decline, a different kind of actress emerged. Her art reflected the impact of both the sexual revolution and the brazen counterculture. Ooh. The 1968 cover story on Jane Fonda was inspired by her appearance, largely undressed, in hubby Roger Vadim's Barbarella. Jane Fonda, stunning, and I used to do her workout tapes. Prince as a kid. I love Jane Fonda. I think she's an incredible actress, even to this day. I don't know if you've seen Grace and Frankie, but I highly, highly recommend it. Fantastic show. She could not be better. So talented. And over here, let's see, Ally McGraw and Hit Goodbye. And now we're on to the heroes. So Clark Gable again. Oh, look at his little chip tooth. He's got 2 little chips in his teeth. Something you could not get away with now. And not have people berate you, I'm sure. So throughout the years, it was simple fact of life, if not of life, that the annual Hollywood roster of the top 10 box office personalities was predominantly masculine. For more than 3 decades, Clark Gable was the essence of everything filmmakers looked for. A dedicated professional whose appearance and personality on and off screen was attractive to both sexes. I have to agree with that. I think he was quite the looker. And he has such a magnetic personality. Oh man, Honky Tonk 1941 teamed Clark Gable with Lana Turner. Oh my gosh, I love it. The most electric combination known to life since Charles Boyer and Hedy Lamarr. Bold statement, but I agree. Playing an infinite variety of roles in potboilers, light comedy, costume pieces, and serious drama, he was dominant presence during a long, unchallenged reign. Misfits opposite Marilyn Monroe. Gable sat for a 1960 dressing room interview. He died of a heart attack only days after the story appeared. In China Seas, Gable was a skipper torn between 2 loves, played by Jean Harlow, then at her peak, and Rosalind Russell. Harlow won. Vivien Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara. Gable made Gone with the Wind in 1939. It piled up a $77 million gross, the box office record for over 30 years. Spencer Tracy, the yin to Katharine Hepburn's yang. Here's all his love interests in the movies, of course. Always comfortable to be with. As a man or actor, Tracy strides arm in arm with Harlow off the set of Riff Raff. With Hedy Lamarr and I Take This Woman. With Joan Crawford and Mannequin. Sylvia Sidney and Fury. I almost said Fury, but I don't think that was a thing back then. Yeah, Spencer Tracy, a little bit older. In 1955, as Tracy celebrated his 25th year in movies, a Life cover presented his lumpy but lovable Irish visage. Though he had appeared with nearly every top female star, he himself insisted that he was an unromantic type and taught ladies man roles. Gary Cooper. That just reminds me of the song Putting on the Ritz. Mugging uncharacteristically for a loony life story about fashions and headgear, Cooper doffed his 10-gallon hat and tried a guitar with chin strap. I apologize if my little quick giggles can be a little jarring. I laugh a lot in the real world, so I'll stay calm. I'll keep it peaceful, even keeled. No more little chuckles. I just want you to have a good night's sleep. And thank you so much for looking through this magazine with me. So the next is John Wayne, big and craggy. He carved a sizable niche for himself as the Mr. Clean of countless westerns. But he won his Oscar as a boozing, aging lawman in 1969's True Grit. And I know westerns hold such a special space in so many people's hearts. It's not my cup of tea, but it is, however, my mother's. And so I have nothing but respect for the Duke here. Bing Crosby. The most relaxed entertainer of them all, the crooner worked hard to make it all look easy. Crises in his private life helped convert him into a fine, dramatic actor. His first wife dead, his second family not yet in sight, Crosby in 1954 was tired, depressed, and unsure of his acting ability when he played a drunken, has-been musical comedy star opposite Grace Kelly in The Country Girl. Probably his finest performance, it starred one of show business's classic comebacks. Frank Sinatra, Old Blue Eyes. Old Blue Eyes not only succeeded Bing Crosby as a super singer, but like him, won a new lease on his professional life with a great dramatic performance. His career at rock bottom, Sinatra bounced right back, and From Here to Eternity, 1953, as a bully GI who dies in Montgomery Clift's arms. Oh, Montgomery Clift. Okay. Oh, Marlon Brando. Transplanted to Hollywood from the Broadway stage, his potent and many-sided talent exploded on the screen and presaged a revolutionary new style in movie acting. In Viva Zapata, Live Shoe, Marlon Brando essayed a brooding and passionate interpretation of the life of Emiliano Zapata, the Mexican guerrilla. Maria. The matinee idols. The movie public always backed its favorites. So many of these tall, dark, or blonde, and handsome leading men played the same role over and over again, themselves. The name was Roy Fitzgerald, and nothing happened. The name Rock Hudson was attached to the same face and 6'3" frame, and was suddenly became a box office bonanza. This shot was a 1955 cover after Magnificent Obsession grossed $8 million. So handsome. Rock Hudson was a smoke show. Van Johnson. People really loved him, but not my cup of tea. Still an attractive man. Tasmanian-born adventurer Errol Flynn, life set in 1938, irked his bosses by periodically running away to sail his boat or get into a war. The tough guys. They snarled, sneered, or strode panther-like through scores of movies, exuding menace and machismo, and by their work added a new dimension to films, reality. Jean-Paul Belmondo starred in the Cops and Robbers French film Breathless, 1961. The tattoo on Robert Mitchum's right hand spelled love, but the hate on his left was more to the point of The Night of the Hunter, 1955. An offbeat chiller about a bogus preacher intent on killing 2 children in order to steal money left to them by their father. Dark, still very popular tattoos. Irish-Mexican Anthony Quinn, interviewed in 1963, reaffirmed his determination not to be typecast. Quinn crashed Hollywood as a fake Indian in 1936. And you can tell this book is older because it says Indian, and I'm assuming they mean Native American, because back in the day, they never cast Native Americans as Native Americans. That's why they called it a spaghetti western, because a lot of Italians ended up playing the Native Americans, and they would just darken up the skin, little bronzer, makeup. And this man was Irish and Mexican, and he was typecast as a Native American early on in his career. So Humphrey Bogart got an Oscar for his Boozy Captain and the African Queen, 1951. Oh, and that was Katharine Hepburn as well, I believe, and became a posthumous cult hero. The portrayal, tough guy, he was a top box office draw for years, despite a slight impediment of speech and a face, Life observed, that looked as if it had just smelled something unpleasant. Humphrey Bogart. The characters. Jack Lemmon, very funny. Walter Matthau, see what else we got here. Oh, my Marilyn Monroe. Oh my goodness, James Dean. I am in love with James Dean. Probably always will be. I don't foresee that ever changing. Just the epitome of romantic, handsome, mysterious, and talented. In the 1960s, a cool, confident kind of male animal burst onto the cinema scene, a maverick whose movies reflected an undercurrent of rebellion that was abroad in the land. James Dean, here walking through a moody drizzle, made two 1955 films, East of Eden and Rebel Without a Cause. Both prefigured the counterculture. Morbid as it may be, my dad drove me down the road where he crashed his car, and I don't know why, but I was pretty morbidly fascinated by that road. There's Clint Eastwood, of course, and Steve McQueen. Al Pacino. Warren Beatty. Paul Newman. Robert Redford. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And Marilyn Monroe. Who isn't enamored by Marilyn Monroe? I know so much about her. And sometimes that trips me out, that I could know so much about somebody who there's no way who could have ever known me. But I just feel like she's relatable to almost everybody. She was just stunning and so beautiful. Always wanted a little bit more with life. So before Marilyn and after Marilyn, from blonde bombshell to pinup, from kitten to censored, life had a thing about the lasses, both the domestic and imported variety. The sex symbols. The story of her life, tragically true, read like one of Hollywood's tearjerkers. The dreaming foster child who became an international sensation and died at 36. During a tour of Korea in 1954, Marilyn shoehorned herself into a slinky dress and, shrugging off zero temperatures, launched into a torrid rendition of Anything Goes, as lonely GIs whistled and howled. The evolution of it. What they had in common was something America had once called it. No one could say what it was exactly, but when an actress had it, everybody knew instantly. By the time red-haired Clara Bow played a charmingly naughty flapper in it 1927, she had established the world as the decade's synonym for sex appeal. And I love Clara Bow. I think she is so pretty, and I just love her style. And I adore her. Lana Turner, Jean Harlow, Carol Landis, Rita Hayworth, Kim Novak, beauties from Europe. So Gina Lollobrigida was first signed by Howard Hughes. The picture was a 1951 roundup on Italian actresses. Anita Ekberg, oh, she's stunning, from Sweden, and blonde. A quivet played an Indian dancer, and of course you remember it, Sirach, 1956. I have not seen that, but she doesn't really look East Indian. Hopefully she just played somebody who enjoyed East Indian dance, but was not, in fact, supposed to be East Indian, but, you know, times were different, so I very much would not be surprised if she was. So, and of course, my Sophia Loren. Oh, she was a Neapolitan urchin who blossomed, Mamma Mia, into an earth mother with style and wit. Chaplin noted the rare blend of regal bearing and clown's art. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at how beautiful she is. And just, what a stunning body. Just stunning face. Stunning personality. She's so fun. It just shines through her eyes. Loren playfully planted a kick on Pal's posterior while Alfred was photographing in 1961 story titled Part Goddess, Part Imp, All Woman. She's literally kicking his butt. Sophia joked about her famous figure to friend and confidant Dora Jane Hamblin of Life. Everything you see, she said, I owe to spaghetti. Ah, the clowns. Some of my favorites. Just before leaving the U.S. in 1952 for his self-imposed Swiss exile, Chaplin volunteered this pose for famed photographer Richard Avedon. I love him. So funny. Such a cool guy. Very talented. Oh my gosh, Harpo Marx. I love Harpo Marx. I love the Marx Brothers, but my favorite was always Harpo. He's just so talented, and I love listening to him play. Chaplin and his great silent screen contemporaries left a heritage that has entertained moviegoers ever since. In Love Happy 1949, his last film, Harpo, who Life called The Silent Frenzy of the Marx Brothers registered triumph by jetting smoke from his ears. There's an episode of I Love Lucy where she meets Harpo Marx, and I think it's the funniest scene in I Love Lucy. Oh my goodness. Speak of the angel. Here's Miss Lucille Ball herself. So funny, so talented. Here's Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. Oh, and here's my Jackie Gleason. I love him so much. He was in The Honeymooners, which was absolutely one of the funniest shows of all time. How cool is this? Bob Hope. Okay. I hope you're getting sleepy. And if you are, go ahead and close your eyes. Just relax. I'll be here tomorrow and the day after and whenever you need me. Just go ahead and close your eyes. It's a good time to sleep. I'll read a few more pages. And you just relax, okay? Okay. So using this mock series title, Life's editors in the late 30s adorned their pages with Hollywood's wondrous press agentry and commented on it deadpan captions. Commented on it in deadpan captions. It's getting very late. As you can see, I'm losing a grasp on my words. And a lot of screen beauties bathed for the camera, catching the public eye by getting suds in it. Everybody who was anybody readily came clean for the photographer, even Little Caesar. Oh no, I said I wouldn't keep doing the giggle, and I keep doing it, so I apologize. Look at all these lovely women. Oh, I love the bathing suits of this time period. If you ask me, they were a lot more flattering. And I just love how normal these women look. Just no Photoshop, no overcorrection of things that are already beautiful. They just look stunning. They just look happy. I like that. That holds up. But it is a pose familiar to the fans of pinup artist George Petty. Let's see if I can turn this page. We'll start the Starlet Factory. Aglow with her most confident smile, Colleen poses for a 20th Century Fox screen test identification photo. Colleen Townsend. And look at all these screened out. Determined to put Colleen's face on the wall of every home, office, and barracks in America all year, Fox's corps of press agents had her pose for 12 calendar pictures. My goodness. So here's her full calendar. Darling, you're going places. Cries columnist Hedda Hopper. Oh my. About 1 in every 6 Life covers on average featured movie actresses and a few actors. It's even possible to recognize quite a large number of them in this brief sampling. But some made it big. Raquel Welch, Mia Farrow, over here, stunning, Lana Turner, Ava Gardner, Debbie Reynolds, Mr. Reynolds, so cute. I love that smile, that face is so adorable. The starlet Debbie Reynolds brought to the screen a freshness and vivacity that never flagged throughout a solid career. In 1951, Life published this sheet of contact prints made by Philip Halsman to show readers how its covers were selected. The one finally chosen for this issue appears on page 87. Mm-hmm. Now. Let's see if I can turn this. In 1954, 3 new actors who set hearts athrob in under 21 set Rock Hudson, Tony Curtis, and Robert Wagner from Top were on the ladder to success. So there's Rock Hudson, Tony Curtis, and Robert Wagner. From far-off France came the young Louis Jourdan. The problem was to teach him English, presenting the magazine with the opportunity in 1946 to show the facial contortions accompanying his English lessons. How is he still that handsome while making those faces? Okay, so over here we have, is that Woody Allen? Horrible. Good movies. Not so great. Good person. Don't mind me just mumbling to myself at times. Musicals. Take back your mink from whence it came, screeched the hot box croonies in Sam Goldwyn's version of Broadway's musical Guys and Dolls. Oh, Hollywood's most popular dancer, Fred Astaire, drew this comment after a screen test. Can't act, can't sing, can dance a little. Here in a Puttin' on the Ritz number in Blue Skies, 1946, he proves that the last part of the assessment, at least, was sound. Mm, doing a typical hoofing duet called The Shorty George in You Were Never Lovelier, 1942. Rita Hayworth is as lovely and an Astaire as effortlessly graceful as ever. This was their second film together. I should not even bother trying to read because I am exhausted. So I'll go on for a little bit longer. Astaire and Judy Garland masquerade as a couple of tramps in Easter Parade, 1948. She was so cool because she was so comical. She was stunning, but she wasn't afraid to be goofy or silly or make faces, and I love that. Then the classic Astaire in formal dress and with his classic partner Ginger Rogers. Oh, I love watching them dance together. And I think this is pretty much all we have time for tonight. Here's a couple of my dad's old things. I gotta get some frames for these. If you did, however, make it this far, let me know which ones are your favorites. That is a little bit offensive. But there's other ones. Columbia Bell. Golden Nugget. Jack's Washington State Apple. This one's cool looking. Passion plate. I kind of like that. Strange, but I like it. Oh, pack bears. I wish they had like the classic Aunt Jemima things. I would absolutely keep those. Lion. This one's pretty. I like that. Trout. That's lovely. King's Cadets. Far West. It's from Seattle. Ooh, rose apples. It's very pretty. Statue. California Bartlett's. And then there's the Statue of Liberty. A little confusing. Blue Circle. Oh, I like this one. This is pretty. I do love green. Oh, I've been to Chelan, Washington. Lake Chelan, specifically. This is cute too. I like that. You like 'em, apples? My goodness. Like Wenatchee. Oh my goodness. They loved to make everybody's features very Eurocentric back then. Yakima. My friend was from Yakima. Washington. I love this one. Golden Bosk pears. Oh, mountain goat Chilean apples. Oh, hula apples. Huh. Universal Fruit and Produce Company, Seattle, Washington. But the font of the Universal reminds me of Universal Studios. Does anybody else kind of feel that way? So if you have some favorites of those, please let me know. I plan on framing most of them, if I can. But I do want to put up some of the most classy ones, if you will. So whatever you guys think, let me know. And then women in westerns. And perhaps we can come back if you guys have an interest. And we'll revisit the rest of this film some other time. Because I just can't get enough of this book. I think it's fantastic. Spectacle. A surefire way to shout spectacle was to focus on real people and powerful events. To throw in a cast of thousands. Then, of course, there was always the Bible. This looks almost like a cartoon. But obviously, that, in my opinion, is always going to be a tearjerker. I didn't realize they made a movie about the crucifixion in 1953. Okay. And Shirley MacLaine. Alright, my friends. This has been so much fun. Oh my goodness, another surprise in here. Ooh. Looks like we have another King's Cadets in here. For lovely Agnes Moorehead, the metamorphosis into a 110-year-old widow in The Lost Moment, 1947, was a grueling ordeal. Artists glued a rubber mask to her face, then applied an overlay of wrinkles and wens. Agnes found the whole experience pretty painful, but the effect was impressively realistic. I can't believe that. Oh, I can see the lace front from here. When you get a closer look at the picture, you can see the lace front wig, the makeup up into the hairline. But for back in this time period, that's an incredible amount of special effects. Oh my goodness. Fred Astaire dances up the walls and across the ceiling in Royal Wedding, 1951. Oh my goodness. A meticulous scale model of Golden Gate Bridge and San Francisco Bay was built by the Japanese makers of the Holocaust thriller 41 Hours of Terror, 1960. After the model builders applied the finishing touches, explosive crumbled their handiwork below with satisfactory apocalyptic effort. My goodness. But I was more wondering about this one. In 1956, Life's Alan Grant created his own special effect, a tightrope walker balancing high above a valley. Actually, Grant from on high had photographed a technician walking across a painted backdrop set on the ground for measuring and retouching. That's how they did that one. Okay. And so, for the millionth time, my friends, I say good night. I love you. I hope you sleep well. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helped you sleep. And I hope that you will join me for our next video soon. Thank you so much for coming here with me. Thank you so much for always watching, for supporting me, for just being such a lovely person. You have a great night's sleep, my friends. And if you can't sleep, come back a little later and I'll be here waiting for you, okay?